The Circle of Winter Druid is a really fun modded subclass for the Druid, but it is spell-based. Now you can still wild shape, however it will remove your sort of core class feature. But let's go over it. We'll go level by level, combat tutorial, and all the items you could ever need. So of course we start with the Druid. Now, at level 1 we have Wisdom saving throw proficiency. This is also your spellcasting modifier. Intelligence saving throw proficiency. Club, dagger, javelin, mace, quarterstaff and scimitar, and sickle, spear, light armor, medium armor, shield proficiencies. For your cantrips here, we'll be taking Shillelagh, and we'll be taking Thorn Whip. For your ability points, we're going to have 8 strength, 14 dexterity, 16 constitution to help with our concentration, 10 intelligence, 16 wisdom, and 10 charisma. For your skill proficiencies, take whatever fits your roleplay. Level 2 unlocks our wild shapes, as well as natural recovery. We'll gain another cantrip. And we get our subclass, and for this we are the Circle of Winter. So you harness the powers of the frigid tundras of the world and the harsh seasons of winter. Now the core feature here, we gain Red Frost as a cantrip, but Winter Spirit. Channel the Might of Winter to gain 5 temporary hit points, and deal additional cold damage with your spells and melee weapon attacks while you have them. This will last until long rest, however, Winter's Spirit ends early if you use Wild Shape. This ability in itself also uses Wild Shape, so while you can turn into your animals, it is basically set around being in this Winter Spirit form. Now for your cantrips here, we are going to take Cure Wounds, Healing Word, Create or Destroy Water, Thunder Wave, and Ice Knife. Druid level 3 unlocks our second level spell slots. We also gain Sinalock's Snowball Swarm as a level 2 spell that is always prepared, alongside Darkness. For a spell here, we are going to add Hold Person. This is one of my favourite spells in the entire game. Any held humanoid, if they are attacked within 3 meters, it will be a guaranteed critical hit. Landing this and then having a barbarian, fighter, anyone with multiple multi-attacks, or extra attacks I should say, you can decimate a fight in rounds. A Druid level 4 unlocks our first feat. Now before that we gain one more cantrip, so for this we will be taking Guidance. And then for the feat, you probably guessed it, but the ability improvement, I'm going to bump our Wisdom up to 18. For a spell here we're going to take Spike Growth. Druid level 5 unlocks Wild Strikes while you're within your wild shape form, but we also gain Slow and Sleet Storm as always prepared spells. For spells here, we're going to take Cool Lightning, and we're going to take Moonbeam. Druid level 6 gives you Blizzard Cloud. So while under the effects of your Winter Spirit feature, you may reduce the movement speed of a nearby creature. Additionally, you're immune to slipping while walking on frozen surfaces. We also unlock more wild shape forms. For a spell here, we're going to take Plant Growth. Now obviously if you have Mistress spells, you could take other water or cold based ones. I'm just trying to go with as many of the core spells as possible. Druid level 7 unlocks our 4th level spell slots, as well as Ice Storm and Fire Shield as always prepared spells. For a spell here, we're going to take Conjure Woodland Being. What's awesome about this is that this summon also can summon someone, so your Dryad can summon their Woodwode. At level 8 we gain our second feat. Now for this, you probably guessed it again, but we are maxing out our Wisdom at 20. And then for a spell here, we're going to take Conjure Minor Elemental to keep building up those summons. Druid level 9 unlocks our 5th level spell slot, as well as Hold Monster, which is a huge spell to have always prepared, along with Cone of Cold. For spells here, we're going to take Conjure Elemental, and we're going to take Mass Cure Wounds. Level 10 brings improved Wild Strike. We also gain Slippery Magic. So when a creature fails its saving throw against a spell you cast that deals cold damage, it falls prone. The bonus cold damage granted by your Winter Spirit feature does not count as a spell dealing cold damage for this feature. So essentially, any spell that you have that will deal cold damage that has a saving throw, if it lands, you'll guarantee that they fall prone. A really nice way of just nullifying the battlefield. We gain one more cantrip at this point, so for this one we will take Poison Spray. And for a spell here, we're going to take Insect Plague. Druid level 11 brings our 6th level spell slot. Now, typically you'd only get one 6th level spell slot at level 12. Because we are using a staff that has Arcane Battery, we will have a free spell slot use. So we are going to take Hero's Feast so we can buff our allies, ourselves, and our summons. And then finally, level 12, that will bring you Cold Soul. So your body permanently resembles a creature of snow and frost. You're immune to cold damage, and when a creature hits you with a melee attack, it will take 6 cold damage. Now for your feats here, we are going to take Alert, +5 to Initiative to boost us up that turn order. And then finally, for your final spell, we are going to take a damage dealer in Sunbeam. What's awesome about this as well is that while you're concentrating on it, you can recast it without expending a spell slot. So it's a really nice way of getting a lot of utility out of one spell, especially a high level one. Okay, let's go over our equipment. We start with a Cold Brim Hat. So once per turn, any condition inflicted on a target also applies 2 turns of Encrusted with Frost. We're going with the Cloak of Displacement, so at the beginning of our turn, the cloak will activate, granting enemies disadvantage on attack rolls against us until we're hit. We're going to take the Boots of Genial Striding, so our movement speed is unimpeded by difficult terrain. We're going to take the Weave Mother's Robe. We have resistance to fire and cold damage. If the wearer is standing in water, we'll heal 1 to 4 hit points at the start of our turn. Armor class +1, as well as create or destroy water as a spell. For gloves, we're going to take the Winter's Clutches. So whenever we deal cold damage, we will inflict 2 turns of Encrusted with Frost upon the target. The Burnish Ring for use of Paralysing Ray. The Snowburst Ring, so whenever we deal cold damage to an enemy, will also create a 4.5 meter circle of ice around them. This means if they try to move, there's a good chance they'll slip on the ice and fall prone. The Necklace of Elemental Augmentation, so when one of our cantrips deals acid, cold, fire, lightning or thunder damage, we add our spellcasting modifier to the damage dealt. And then for a staff, I would go via Marcus Share or the Staff of Spell Power. Both have the +1 bonus to spell save DC and spell attack rolls, as well as Arcane Battery, giving you that free spell slot. And then for a shield, I'd recommend taking any that you have the highest AC possible to boost your armor class as far as you can up. Now, first thing we're going to do is we're going to start getting all our summons. So, we want to get, when I can see them in my list here, the Woodland Being. So let's get our Dryad. And the Dryad can summon the Woodwoad. So for 1 spell slot, we've now gotten 2 summons. Just like that. The next thing we need to do is we need to get our elementals. So we are going to come in here, conjure our 5th level, and we'll do a water elemental. And put them there. Fits our theme here very well. And then finally we have our minor elemental as well. And we can get the ice nymphs. And there we go. So that is our setup ready. So let's go find some combat and check it out. Okay, now that we left camp, the first thing we are going to do is we are going to get basically our frozen ability, Winter Spirit, going. We'll also gain 60 temporary hit points, which is insane. So you can see we are pushing 160 health in total. And if we Hero's Feast up, when I can find it, with our Arcane Battery, so make sure this is turned on so you get the free spell slot. And then we will Hero's Feast. You see we can basically hit everyone here. And everyone has gained a health pool, and now we have pushed over 170 HP as a pure druid. So now let's go find that combat. Okay, you can see we start the combat and we are actually top of the turn order. So let's get this going. The first thing we're going to do is we'll strengthen our Shillelagh as a bonus action. That way if we can do melee damage, it's at least going to be a little pumped up. And for this we're going to do a very, very base cantrip of Rare Frost. So you can see our damage output. And there you go. You can see we caused a huge amount of damage. 4 stacks of Encrusted with Frost, knock the enemy prone, and they have ice all around them. Our Elemental can also get some damage going. Okay, now it's time for our Dryad. So with our Dryad, once again, we'll do the same thing. We'll strengthen our Shillelagh, and we'll start trying to ensnare some enemies, as we don't go up the ladder for some reason. There we go. So let's try this again. We'll come here slightly, so we've got more room. And unfortunately we didn't land the ensnaring, but we did deal some damage. Our Water Elemental has the awesome ability that it can Elemental Warp, meaning we can send it to teleport up here, And then we can land big slam attacks, just like that, dealing some pretty hefty damage, and also inflicting chilled. Okay, the Woodwoad gets a turn. The Woodwoad is pretty much just a tanky heavy hitter, so we can send up there to deal some damage. Now we have our Ice Mints, and these things are awesome because they can sort of just fly around and deal some damage. So we'll send one up here, and you can see it has a Death Burst. It can throw a Chromatic Orb, so if we throw that at this enemy, unfortunately they missed. But we can try the same thing with this one. We'll fly over to here, and with this one we will throw out an Ice Breath and get something going like this. And you see we can make all these icy surfaces. You see the enemy there had no chance to do anything, being stuck. And one awesome thing we can do if we send ourselves this way, you'll see we can walk over the ice, as you know, without causing any slipping, anything like that. And we can throw out our big Cone of Cold. So if we do this at just 5th level, you'll see the damage output we have. Huge 86 damage and encrusted with frost stacks. And of course, as a bonus action, we still have the ability, if we want to, we can come in here with a healing word, and we can heal up your hero who's taken a few hits with our druidic abilities. Once again, with our Dryad, we can try and entangle the enemy with another miss. And we'll send our Elemental over here, and we'll try and do a multi-attack this time. Just like that, and you'll see the damage is crazy. Again, our Woodwoad can just do some tanking and slight damage dealing, like that. And our Ice Mints we can send up here to do a claw attack, or if we want to just get rid of our summon and deal a huge amount of damage, we can do a Death Burst as an AoE. The other thing we can do, send them over the ice to try and slash, which was another big miss. Now see the enemy here still is encrusted with frost for 2 turns. If we were to do another cantrip of Rare Frost when I can see it, just here, we'll keep those stacks up. And you see we've placed it in a way where there's now ice around all the other enemies as well, and they are now up to 6 stacks of encrusted with frost. If we get to, I believe it is 7 stacks, yeah, when there are 7 stacks or more, they must make a Constitution saving throw or take 1 to 4 cold damage and become frozen, which is huge. You see we get a nice big opportunity attack. And again, with our Elemental, we have the ability to just fast travel as much as possible. I say fast travel to do our Elemental Warp. For some reason, we went down the ladder before doing it. But then we can come back in here with another multi-attack. Just like that. Okay, we're going to place ourselves over here next to this enemy, but we're not going to attack. You see the enemy here has slipped on the ice, and the reason we did not attack is because I want to show off our ability to do Blizzard Cloud. We can throw this on Runt down here, and unfortunately he saved, but that would have reduced his movement by 3 meters, which would have been enough to show off when he runs away. Instead, I'll show off our melee capabilities, because we know we deal extra damage, and you'll see we even landed encrusted with frost with our melee attacks. Now let's try our bonus action again of Blizzard Cloud. We'll try and throw it on Runt here. And there we go, we have landed the Blizzard Cloud, so now they have their movement reduced. And we might get some friendly fire here, but let's do our Snowball Swarm. Can we target both? Might just be out of reach for both. It is, so instead we'll just do it on the enemy here, and there you go, fallen prone. So this is such an awesome just build and mod for just freezing everything, knocking people prone, reducing movement speed, dealing huge amount of damage with your summons and yourself. It's pretty powerful. And obviously an enemy being prone means we have advantage, take some big swipes. Especially when you have something like a multi-attack, meaning you can land your hits much easier. And that at this point is pretty much just a case of ending the fight. So we'll swipe that enemy, and we'll do an Ice Storm at level 4, targeting this enemy. And there you go. Now you see we still have loads of our temporary hit points left, but this is just such a tanky mod. The whole having 60 temporary hit points really makes up for the low AC, but the amount of abilities you can throw out that aren't concentration based is just phenomenal. And of course, as you remember, if we did need to heal up, we can stand in water, and we'll heal up 1 to 4 hit points at the start of our turn. So I hope you've enjoyed the Circle of Winter mod subclass for the Druid. I think it's incredible. I really hope you enjoyed this build. If you have, let me know in the comments what you'd change, any new items or abilities. If you're ready, please drop me a like and subscribe to the channel for more. I've got more guides to Baldur's Gate, to Dragon Age, Path of Exile, Elden Ring, Oblivion, Wu Chang Fallen Feathers, Expedition 33, all the amazing RPGs you could ever need. And hopefully I will see you in the next one. Bye guys.